Hi everybody, it's Karen. Friday Flowers with Karen. And today I've got a lot of flowers. I overbought, not surprising. And I want to talk today about starting your life over again. As many of you know, I got sober when I was young. I was sober for like 14 years and it was fantastic. All the promises came true. And then I started working those steps backwards and I relapsed. And when I relapsed, I lost everything. I lost my cars, I lost my home, I lost all my retirement, my insurance, my family, my friends. I was homeless, it was horrible. And when you sober up to that, it's really hard. It's also hard to start your life over from scratch at 40 years old. So how did I do it? People ask me all the time. And that's what I want to tell you, because it's possible. It's doable, and I'm going to tell you how to do it. But I'm also going to talk about flowers, because flowers are, as you know, my favorite thing, and have been my favorite thing since I started my life over. So I'm going to see if I can make these about 15 minutes long and not go too crazy. I'm going to teach you some things about what I've learned about flowers, and I'm also going to talk about starting your life over again. So the first thing is, I did a video a couple weeks ago about revamping a bouquet that was going dead. I'm really big into that. And one of my friends said, you should really show people what you do. I can make flowers last for months in different vases, and different, they get smaller and smaller and smaller. But I try to utilize flowers as much as I can. And here's an example. I bought a bunch of flowers from Trader Joe's, as I always do. And as I was unpackaging them, these they're mums. Can you guys see me okay? These mums that I got, one broke off and I was just heartbroken because look at that. Is that the prettiest? It's like a spider mum. And it was just so pretty and perfect, but it broke off right at the stem. So what I would do, I won't throw that away. I love that. So I've got this really pretty little crystal dish. Let me see, I already put water in it, but you see it's just a little pretty crystal dish. Now you can do anything. You could get a jar, a jar, from the secondhand store, a jamming jar. I mean, the more unique the container, the more fun it is. I really like to use containers that are purposed for something else, right? Think of flea market flip. I love that stuff. I have to take you shopping with me. If you didn't know, I'm an interior decorator by trade. That's my job, and construction. So I'm gonna put a little flower food in here anyway, just because this guy, I want him to last. And I'm just gonna gently float it right in the top, and I'll put it by the sink in the bathroom, because I think when you're brushing your teeth and you're bending over and all that jazz, how nice it is to just have a pretty vase with a little teeny, and it fits it perfectly, right? I'll take a picture of it later by the sink so you can see what it looks like. I put water in it now, so it's gonna tip over. So I'm just gonna put that aside. What else I do when flowers fall off, I've showed you this before. These are these little things. These are actually, I think these ones are from Holland actually, but they're little bud vases. And when I have oddball flowers that fall apart, I just cut them short and I put them in here and make a really unique little bouquet, and I sit them on the table, right? So nothing gets wasted. I'm big into trying to repurpose things, okay? So there's my second trick. If we have any fall off today, I will stick them in there. Here's some tulips. There's sometimes less is more. I'll just tell you that. And these are some beautiful tulips, and I did put pennies in the bottom because I wanted them to fall open like that, and they're just gorgeous, but in about a day, they're gonna go sideways on me. So I bought some tulips to replace them. My very dear friend Nancy, whose kitchen this is, Florence and Nancy, my friends. It's not my kitchen, for all of you that said, I love your kitchen. Well, you love Florence and Nancy's kitchen. It's not my kitchen. So, but they are my friends, and I'm here helping Florence because she just had surgery. And so I'm here helping them out, and she's getting so much better that I'm doing all this other stuff, and it's apparent it's time for me to go. So here is a vase with my water and my flower food in it. Whoops, I'm not supposed to walk off camera, but I did. I'm just gonna do this because it's Simple Simon, okay? I pull off some of these leaves just because I don't like it all. The leaves are what makes the water have bacteria and kill the flowers. I know I say that every time. When I was little, I loved flowers. I've always loved flowers. When I was a little girl, we used to have this school across the street, and it had buttercups. Do you know what buttercups are? And the buttercups grew wild. And I would go out there in the field and just pick buttercups forever. And I came home with baskets and baskets. I cut these off to give them a fresh attempt. And I put them in cold water. The other day, those purple ones I bought didn't last very long because they had gone in hot water. So I'm just gonna put them in like that. And they really do open up into be a really pretty bouquet like you saw. And my friend Nancy loves them, so I always like to have tulips around for her. Okay, so now let's get to the other stuff. And I'll get to my talk, why I'm really here. Some of you have asked me, what made you think of doing your flowers and having your talk at the same time? And it was really my marketing director's idea. She has been watching, I don't know if you've ever seen that girl on Mondays, Makeup and Mayhem, I think it's called. And she tells scary stories while she does a makeup tutorial. And it's fascinating, and I love the stories anyway. And they're true stories, true crime stories that you'd never believe. And she does her makeup while she's doing it, and it is so, like, I feel so good about it because I'm multitasking. So I thought I'd feel really great if I was able to share my experience with you and do my flowers at the same time. So thank you, Jacqueline, for that. Okay, have you ever seen this tape? Have you ever gotten a bouquet from a floral shop and it looks like this when you take the flowers out? Because when you have a vase that's this big, this is what I'm going to use today, but when you have a vase that's this big, I didn't grab any water. When you have a vase that's this big, you really need to have something to keep those stems up. Sorry, my mind is racing around with why didn't I put water in this already? Because I gotta walk away from the camera again. I'm not supposed to do that. So you put this on, so then you put the stems in there, and instead of having like that, like I showed you the styrofoam in the bottom to stick them in, you put them in here and they stand and they kind of stay in place. And so what you do, I already did this one because it takes a second and I didn't want to do it on here and waste your time. So if you take an empty vase like this, and maybe while I do this, I'll just pop this under here and get some water in it. And I know I'm not supposed to be doing this. Sorry, my marketing director should be really mad because I'm not supposed to walk off the camera. But I'm not fancy enough to have one of those camera things that follows you, okay? So you take this tape and you just crisscross it. You can get this at Michael's, at a flower shop. Perfect. Okay, I've got water in there now. Cold water. You can go to Michael's or a floral shop and you get this tape, okay? And this tape, you just actually go right across the top and make the lines in the way you want them to go, okay? So like there's one. So this tape is just cheap and thin floral tape. It looks so fancy when you get it, but you can get it. So just fold the tip over. There's my tip for any kind of tape in your home. Fold the tip over so you can find it again easily and you don't have to sit there and pull it up, okay? Make a little tab. All right, make a little tab, all right? So, let's see what I've got here. I've got some gorgeous flowers, and like I said, I overbought. So let's see what I have. Let's start with some roses. The problem is I started with some flowers a few days ago. I was so excited. I just love finding flowers on sale. Now, if you go to Ralph's, or your local grocery mart, I'm kind of trying to find out what I want in the center. And I think I want something like this. I'm gonna pull off the extra leaves and I'm gonna stick it in the center. Okay? Yeah. And then I'm gonna use some roses. So what happened was I went to the store, and at Ralph's, around the corner, from all the flowers, they have this sale thing where the flowers are just a little bit old. I pulled off that one leaf because it was kind of brown, so I just pulled that off. So I buy on discount, is what I'm trying to tell you. I went over and I looked at the discount thing and they had some flowers. So I got some roses, and you can get them for cheap, like $3.99. Then just pull off the outside ones. But I know these aren't gonna last very long, but it's the joy. the joy. I have a very good friend from Spokane, Washington that I grew up with. And she used to have fresh flowers in her home. She was a little bit older than me, and I used to go to her home, and she never had fake flowers. And she said, I will never have a fake flower in my house. I love fresh flowers. It's worth the money for me to give myself a treat and spruce up my place, and I always have fresh flowers. And from that moment on, I thought, you know, that's something I want to spend my money on. And you can buy them very inexpensively. So keep your eyes open. Trader Joe's is the best place for fresh flowers that are going to last a long time. Great assortment. But if you do find some flowers, I don't usually use roses unless I find them on sale. Okay, so I'm doing them different heights, right? And I'm kind of doing it like that. And I don't know what I'm doing. So now I'm going to talk about my other stuff while I just put flowers in these little spots. I don't think it matters. Just start filling up those little holes. Okay? All right, starting your life over again. Oh my God. If you've ever met someone who's had to start over from scratch in their midlife, you really should honor them. It's very hard to do. It's easy to give up and say, what the hell, right? I mean, I can't go on. I can't do this again. Especially if you're battling illness. It's hard enough if you're sober, but when you're drunk and you're trying to start over. So what happens is you realize you're going down the toilet, it's not going to get better, and you have to quit drinking. So you go to a 12-step program, AA and NA, and they give you like a design for living that I always talk about that really works. And it starts getting you disciplined so you can actually stay sober, really. And you start doing this little program, and then they say, well, let's take you through the steps, and you start doing the steps, and you start feeling better, and you realize you've totally ruined your entire life and everybody around you. And it starts dawning on you, the more sober time you have, that you are a complete idiot, and you've destroyed everything. And that is when alcoholism starts really kicking your ass. See, alcoholism, as I always say, is not about the drinking, it's about your thinking. And so as you are getting sober and you start to come to and you realize, I have ruined everything, it's harder to stay sober because you think, I might as well drink, right? Self-pity, remorse sets in, and you think, I might as well drink. I can't stay sober. I'm gonna make this primarily these purple ones because I think they're gonna die first, and because they're a little older, and I don't wanna ruin a hope okay because of that. You know what I mean? So I'll let them die and move on. I'll let them die and move on. So purple seemed to be my theme. I like purple right now, and I decided purple was my thing this week. So anyway, you go to meetings and things start getting better. And what happens is the alcoholism kicks in and you start thinking one of two things. I got this, right? I can do this. I'm gonna recreate my life. I'm gonna go back to school. I'm gonna lose 20 pounds. My ace bucket on there is just holding my flowers. Sorry about that. And this is what I'm gonna do. And you get real motivated to make up for lost time, right? You want to fix everything immediately. And that's not the way it works. It will fix itself faster than you think. But I'm gonna move this aside so you can see me while I talk. So it will fix faster than you think, but it's in your alcoholic mind, it's not gonna fix as fast as you want. You're gonna want quick fix, and you're gonna come up with all these ideas about how to make your life better. Now remember, this is the same idea thinker that got you in this mess. Why would you think that you have good ideas about your life when your thinking was the big problem in the first place? You know what I mean? What makes you think that you got any good ideas? You come to AA, you're desperate, you're asking for help, right? You're crying, please help me, And people want to help you, and you go, well, you know what, I'm going to go back to school. I got a job. As soon as I hear someone got a job and they haven't done their 12 steps, I think, well, see ya. See ya, not going to stay. Now, when I see these in the floor shop, they're really full, so I'm not sure why mine's looking kind of scarce. I think I just need to fill it up. So, you know, these ideas we get about quickly repairing our life and quickly getting things back is a very selfish, self-centered way to think. It really is. You really need to take it slow. If you went to AA for help, let them help you. Let them tell you what you should do next. The first thing you should do is do the steps. The next thing you should do is put this program first. This is what is going to save your life. You messed up your life. I'll speak for me. I messed up my life. Why would I think I could fix it? If I could have fixed it, I would have, right? Well, I think to myself, well, it's only because I was drinking. That's why. No, that's not. I fucked up my life sober, right? So that's not it. So let's see. I think I'm going to take a little of this. These are kind of pretty and bright. So why would I think that? You know what I mean? So the first thing when I got sober, I went in and I said, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And they said, why don't you just put this first? Why don't you just see if you could come to the next meeting? And I was offended. I was like, what do you mean come to the next meeting? You know, I'm doing great. I feel good. I haven't drank. I'm doing fantastic, right? And they said, Karen, you better put this first or you're not going to make it. And I did. And I said, but first thing, you don't know what I got going on. I am in a shitload of trouble. I have a daughter who's sick, who needs medical care that I can't afford because I'm broke. I have no medical insurance. I have no job. If I get a job, the government's going to take all my money because I owe so much in the IRS. I mean, it was a train wreck. Like, how is this possibly going to get any better? What do I want here? So, you know, they told me, well, you better put this first, let God run the show because you are a train wreck. And I didn't have any choice, so I did it. And they said, we want you to make AA your job. See, I found those fuzzy ones again I had last time. I thought those were pretty. We want you to make AA your job. And I said, what do you mean? They said, we don't want you to work for a couple months. I said, oh, no. No. You don't understand. I owe so much money. I owe the IRS, I owe the state, I owe people. You know, people are going to come and kill me. You know, in my head, that's what was going to happen. And there was no, you know, debtor's jail. But I felt terrible about what I'd done. No one would talk to me. I needed to make amends quickly, and everybody said, no. You know what you're going to do? You're going to help that girl. Go help that new girl. And I was like, go help that new girl. Are you kidding me? I need help. You've got to help me. And again, they said, now you're going to put this first. You came to us for help, Miss Know-It-All. So you're going to put this first. You're going to ask God for some help. And you're going to take some suggestions. And you're going to go help that girl. This is eucalyptus. And it's more like a branch. Okay? So I think, I don't know if it's going to be, it had a weird branch bottom on it. Let's see if it'll fit in there. I don't know, not that side. This side. Oh, a little better, more balance, I think. I don't know, maybe I like it, maybe I don't. It's either gonna work or it's not. Not in this one, I'll work in a different bouquet. Oh, yeah, that works. Okay, so they told me, you know, I don't like this one hanging down, so I'm gonna move this one. That's the beauty of it, right? Just move shit around. Try again. So I did what they said, and I started helping. And I put my focus on the club room and the new person, and then God took over my life. And what happened is everything happened like in a spiritual way in its own time. Meaning I didn't have to do anything. I didn't have to look for a job. I didn't have to look for a place to live. Things just started happening. Spiritual life. Spiritual, I gave my will and my life over to the care of God as I know it. I don't know if this one's gonna make it look, okay? That one's not even doable in my little jar over there. Well, it might have a little kick to it. Yeah, it's got a little kick. Let's keep it. All of these are gonna die in a couple days because they were on the sale rack. Nothing wrong with the sale rack. I came off the sale rack myself. Let's do another one, a little one of these. So once I put my trust in God and I started working the program as intended, as outlined in the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous, not Karen's book, things started to change. Nope, that rose didn't make it. See ya. Things started to change. I got a job. I started working. I called the IRS. I was terrified. I called people in my AA meeting, sat with me, and helped me call the IRS. Let's put one of these in. These mums that I got the other day, the one that I showed you that broke off. Let's just pop one of these in there for a surprise. So I got a job, people sat with me, I called the IRS and I started making deals, called the estate, started making payment plans. Didn't do all the credit cards and stuff yet because I wasn't making enough money. You know, I needed to pay rent. I needed to start looking after the child that I had abandoned, who was very sick and needed some help. And so I started doing all of that kind of stuff. And slowly but surely, my life started getting better with no help from me. I'll just tell you right now, no help from me. I need something right here, and it needs to be something maybe white like this white mum that I have none in there. So once in a while, I put in a surprise piece. Oh, that's too tall. So I don't think it's big enough. I need something bigger. Let's do another white rose, okay? I need something a little, this is gonna open up and be really pretty. So I started slowly but surely, one day at a time. I kept going to meetings. I went to 2 meetings a day. I went to 1 in the morning, 1 at night. And I did all my steps. I was doing the morning and evening meditation. I was helping newcomers get through their steps. I was totally engaged in the group of Alcoholics Anonymous. And while I did that, I started working my 8th step, which was my amends. And I started making the phone calls. And I started paying people off slowly but surely, and it happened a lot faster than I thought. First thing, they made me deals. They helped me. The IRS was not a horrible place that I'd always heard it was. I think they have redone the IRS, so it's a more friendly place and helpful to people, so people don't lose their mind or jump out of off a cliff because they can't pay their bills. So, yay for that. Right? So slowly but surely things started to change. Then my car broke down, got a new car through the grace of God. Those are all stories. I'll go into this in deeper. I've got a new, very exciting thing kicking off, I think this weekend. I've been working on it for a long time now. And it goes into detail. I talk a lot. My life has been very, I got a lot of experience in a lot of areas. Let's just put it that way. And I want to share my experience with you. And it takes a long time, more than these vlogs. So I've set up a way for you to see these vlogs. So if the thing you're interested in is paying off debt in sobriety, I have a new page coming out called Solutions that is going to explain how to do everything that you need to do that I talk about on here. How to find a job, how to do a resume, how do you start over? How do you find a job when your resume says you haven't worked for 4 years? And they say, why haven't you worked for 4 years? Well, I'm a cocaine addict. You know what I mean? You can't say that. So how do you get a job? How do you get insurance? How do you find furniture? How do you get on without credit? How do you improve your credit, right? All those things that you need to know. I'm setting up courses for that, so you can have you can pick what you want to know about. But the most important thing about this talk when you're starting over is you have to put your program first. Everything else will work out if you just trust God, clean house, and help others. That is the key. And if you do that, and it's hard to do because you're terrified, right? You're so in fear because you've fucked everything up in your life and you have nothing. oh God, it's terrifying, right? Talk about the 4 horsemen: terror, bewilderment, fear, whatever they are. They're in the big book. I should know them by heart. I feel like I've known them by name. But anyway, when you're starting over again and you're starting from scratch, it's very scary. And so to me, what I have found is the opposite of fear is faith. And faith is action. I can't sit on my couch and have faith. I have to be busy. So the busier I am in the program of Alcoholics Anonymous, the more faith I have that this is gonna work. And it did work, and it can work for you. All right? I love you all. Keep your eyes open for my new announcement, my new, what do they call it? A ta-da! I got a new ta-da coming. Love you all. Thanks.